It is so funny, Ty. Every single time I get up and I think, oh no, I can't get sick, I can't get a flu, I can't get a cold, and it just kicks you on your butt. And I have literally taken every single medicine over the counter you can take, right, Ty? That's how we keep going.
Is that why you're partying in the disco room? Is that why there's lights all around you? Is that what's happening, Shar?
You know, I'm trying to cut back on my partying days. That's what's going on around here. And you know, that's a perfect segue, Ty, because I look at you and I think, how does he do it? How does he do it all? You know, and when we get sick, it's so crazy because you're just like, I got to do the one thing. You know, I got to get up and do this. I got to make it happen. And Ty, I really look up to you and I really appreciate our friendship and our business relationship also, but more so because we're just real people.
Yeah, the reality is, Shar, we've done this a while. We'll continue doing it. We are engaged and we're passionate about it. We want to make a difference in the world, whether that difference is giving people access to capital, whether it's helping them grow their brand and their market, whether it's teaching them on a stage about the benefits of partnerships and strategic alliances. We love it. We get a high from it, so we'll keep doing it and we'll enjoy it.
Exactly. Well, you know, and today, you know, there's something about CPAs. You know, I've had a love hate relationship, obviously, because you know, accounting isn't my first thing I wake up in the morning at 3 a.m. thinking about. It definitely isn't something I'm great at. But I know that many of our CPA clients and partners, you know, miss this one thing, and I really want Ty today for us to spend some time on that because I feel like they do so much good. They're protectors, they're naturally the advisor that people go to. Sometimes they're the dream killers because they're like, don't do this. And they're like, for good reason. But yet we need them. And, you know, CPAs miss this in their business.
So, like a lot of industries, CPAs are also threatened by automation and AI, right? People are coming in. We already, we saw the advent of H&R Block and QuickBooks and all of these different tools like that do the job of what a CPA did before. And that's not a bad thing. It kind of takes the tasks and the menial stuff away, and it positions the CPA, as you said, as an advisor, right? You know my books, you know the accounting, you know the numbers, you're very intricate, you know what works, what doesn't work. And CPAs go through a lot of training and licensing and certification to really know what numbers mean to a business and to an individual. So they are really empowered to go from doing the bookkeeping work and doing the balance sheets and the profit and losses to now thinking about what's in a balance sheet, what's in a profit and loss. How do the taxes impact? And I think that CPAs are in their era of moving to that higher level thinking function, that evolved place that people do want to see them as advisors, right? Because like you said, you don't love your numbers. It's something you want to trust. You want to know that the person you're talking to about them, you trust them, but they have a whole picture of your business in their mind as they're having that conversation with you. Now, when CPAs have hundreds of clients and they're just pumping out tax returns or they're just pumping out balance sheets and end of year statements, they're not getting necessarily to sit down and really go deep and understand the strategy of those numbers for a business. And I think that's where CPAs are moving to. And what's missing then becomes when a CPA now has the time to really dig and focus and understand the business and intimately now offer their clients, okay, well, I think that you would make for a good decision here, or I think there's something else that you should do to strengthen your balance sheet or to use your excess liquidity or a version of capex. That recommendation or that opportunity should now come or should be but joined by, here's someone I can introduce you to. Here's
Right.
here's somebody you should have a conversation with. And so that is where, again, back to why people probably love you, is that concept of strategic alliances, that concept of
Mhm.
partnerships with the service providers who can support the customers of CPA, so that the value proposition for a CPA is no longer, I can get your books done on time in time for tax season, but rather your books will get done on time in time for tax season, but I'll also help show you a plan to increase your wealth, increase your revenue, expand your business, grow your income over the next 3 to 5 years.
Mm. And that's where channel really comes in as a part of that strategy, guys. And the reason why that's important is because each of those partners are like levers. How do you use that partner in a way that's a win-win strategy? How do you get what I consider the success and the maximum opportunity? And Ty, this is something you just said, you know, strategically using partners in a way, right, that you guys are both adding extra value to your customers. And I think of a capital partnership and I think about, you know, your advisory team when you think about business development versus, you know, structures and operations. totally different strategy, totally different execution. And so, Ty, when we think about capital partnerships, when we think about how to use vendors to help the business owner, like a CPA, as well as their own partners, the CPA will actually make more money with doing less work.
Of course, the CPA will automate the menial parts of the job and really focus on the parts of the job that really cannot be done strategically by AI, but rather you need that human who has 300 clients, who's seen different things to share their experience and relevant stories with you as you continue to grow your business. And so the CPA gets to do not just the more important part of the job, but the fun part of the job, in my opinion, the strategy and less of the number stuff. And so I think that as we see CPAs reinventing themselves and reinventing their business, we see CPAs extending the life cycle of their customer by adding on the thing that's missing right now, which is the strategy, the consulting, the business component that helps them get to where they are, right? Typically in the past, we tell you what you've done and in the numbers. Now there's an opportunity to say, okay, now that we know what you've done, let's see what you should do, and here's how we project that.
Exactly. And so, guys, when you think about your, Q2 plans, let's look at maybe two, three, maybe four partners that you're currently already working with that your customers see you guys are getting lots of business from, and go to those partners and have that conversation. How do I leverage you for more capital opportunity? Maybe there's credit repair. Maybe there's even a way to do a strategy for funding different opportunities like real estate deals. Those are things that really will help your client be more successful, which make you valuable beyond measure. They will want to keep you, have conversations with you, use your services more strategic in that CFO role because they need you to solve real problems. And the fourth, but definitely not last, Ty, you and I always talk about this, is putting together what that capital plan looks like so that injection of cash can be something unique. Maybe it's against invoices, maybe it's against vendors, maybe there's a growth plan to do an acquisition. Those are things that you can sit down with a conversation. And of course, Ty, you leading that way, for not only our CPAs, but just for businesses in general, makes us such a dynamic partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the plan is where we start, and CPAs know this well. They look at a business plan and they look at your end of years and like how do they compare to what you projected, and they know that all intimately. But again, the opportunity here for CPAs to close that loop, to extend the life cycle of a customer, to retain customers from choosing a QuickBooks or QuickBooks Pro application, it is making sure that you are their partner first. You are your customer's partner in business, and part of being that partner is having a resource of other partners that you can tap into. And that's what we do. We're a capital partner. So if anything in those balance sheets and those P&Ls say, hey, let's figure out exactly how to grow this business, you don't necessarily have to have the money or access to money. You could say, okay, I'm really interested in, your client could say, I'm interested in growing the business. And then you can say, okay, I have an introduction that I need to make to you, and I need you to have this conversation. And again, the return on investment for you is that client will keep you for life because you're now a resource of other resources for them. But also the opportunity is for you to benefit from that resource as well.
Perfect. And Ty, the launch of the YouTube channel with Coach Khan, I think is amazing. I think we want to make sure that they all go there. And guys, there's one thing that I always know, content is the powerhouse, right? For your brand, for your organization to really create credibility. The problem is, guys, if you don't take the opportunity to watch the content, read these things, see these things, you're missing out on opportunities to get you to grow.
Yeah, and while we've talked about capital on this call, capital is not where we stop, right? We have those tools and it's all business resources. We have those tools to help your clients grow, but with coaching, with strategy themselves on business. Maybe they want to figure out, how can they get to a certain point in the next 5 years. You become that numbers person, but then this other person can help them with growth strategies as well. So sales and marketing. So we offer that opportunity to look at your capital in one bucket, but then your business strategy and coaching in another. And then there's individual development. You as a leader may think, you may have a leader or a business person who's struggling with, keeping attention on the business, and therefore you see the numbers struggling as a CPA. We have the opportunity for you again to partner with us, and we can help that person with an individual performance growth plan. So, whether it's One Global Business Financing or it's Coach Khan, we are a great stop for you to figure out how to really impact the lives of your clients as a CPA.
Perfect. Thanks again, Ty, and thanks so much to the CoachCon community for making the time for us to literally build communities, make relationships, and of course, Ty, you and I always know that strategic partnerships always get us faster, farther, and more successful. Thanks so much, Ty.
Thanks, Shar.